Are you sure it isn't time for a colorful metaphor?
You're listening to Comics Podcasting on the Edge of Civility.
Let me kick off my shoes and I'll tell you about motherfucking dollar bins.
Dollar bill, yo. Dollar bill.
We should have an episode called Dollar Bin, y'all.
Dollar bin.
This should be just our experiences with dollar bins. We'll go through our collection and it's dollar.
Most of my collection comes from a dollar bin.
Good evening, everyone. This is the Tech Jedi, Adrian Hunter, your host of The Mean Geek, comics podcasting on the Edge of Civility. With me, as always, is my co-host. There, I've given you a full title. Thank you very much.
Oh, wow.
The Reverend Mad Duck.
Quackity.
How are you, Rev?
The Rev is sleepy, so this could either be a very dull Rev appearance or a very ridiculously insane Rev appearance. I am unsure of which way this will go.
Well, considering it's a DC episode, it's probably going to go crazy.
DC doesn't drive me as nuts as it used to.
It just resigned.
Yeah, no, I really am. It's like, oh, that's horrible. Oh, really? Oh, it's just the grind. You know?
I have to read an issue of that again?
It's like canoeing. It's like after a while, you're like, fuck, I'm trapped in this tiny boat surrounded by water, and I can't stop rowing. Like, shit.
It's so bad, isn't it?
Reverend, row your boat ashore.
Hallelujah.
Yes.
It's so bad. I don't want to hate DC, but they just keep giving me so much ammunition.
Well, every now and then we try and venture outside the comfort zone, and they punish us for it.
Yes, that's not even... I was going to say they don't reward us, but punish is a much more accurate fucking statement.
It really is.
It's the adjective that really works here. And I don't have any actual nerd news because I've been very extremely busy with a change in work venue lately and other assorted things that is none of your goddamn business. So, I haven't been paying attention to that shit. Why don't we just jump right in, call it even, and get the fuck out of here?
I gotta be honest, I don't think anything, compared to the level of Robin Williams last time, no. There's some shots of Ant-Man out there, and I guess it takes place in San Francisco.
Are okay. They look alright, Ant-Man's never been my big deal, but if it can be as fun as Guardians, then that'd be pretty cool.
That was ridiculous. We did miss a convention the first time.
Yeah, work schedules and dough just kind of conspired against us this year, and we did not get to Comic-Con here in Connecticut.
Which looked insanely good.
Yeah, it was his first 3-day year, which is mind-boggling that we now have a 3-day convention in Connecticut. I mean, even Connecticut, which has been here for 20 years, they're still only 1 day. Now, granted, they're a bunch of anime dicks.
Oh, you love the anime. Ratsu. My sister and
Shoryuken!
My sister brought the boys, and I guess the celebrities were all accessible and not asking for money for picture. Like, they were paid by the convention.
Really?
So,
damn,
could have met a damn Ghostbuster. That pisses me off a tad.
Yeah, a little bit.
A really good cast of people we don't have. Perez, Giffen.
Ouch. And of course, you got lucky because you actually knew someone who went.
Yes, I did get an ambush bug signed by thanks to my sister and my nephews. So that was pretty goddamn awesome. I'm the only human being ever who would take send small boys out to get an ambush bug.
That's just
I took my.
It's so accurate, though.
I took my nephews to a comic shop to prep them, but they were just kind of overwhelmed and not overly comic. I bought one for one. It was one's birthday, so I got him some huge magic card thing that was horrible, and the other one got. Because you always get somebody else something, because then you just have to eat crap otherwise.
What, like a collection of something, or like literally a giant magic card?
It was like a box.
Oh, okay.
I would
a
thank
box?
God.
You got him a box of magic cards? I hope those were like the trash cards.
No, it was a pack type thing. It's like 9 packs.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah,
okay.
it was like $40.
All right, well, that doesn't sound that,
No.
Because when I was buying boxes of collectible trading cards, they were a lot more significant than 9 packs.
No. This was a totally different thing.
And I still regret it to this fucking day because I can't get rid of those goddamn things.
But yeah, I got him.
I'm going to use them as kindling this year.
And he didn't get a single comic. The younger one, smaller one. Also accurate, not as polite. I did. He wanted another Patrick the Wolf Boy.
Ah, nice.
By Franco. I guess they bought 2 graphics since Franco was there.
Very good.
But we could not find it, so he got a Guardians of the Galaxy book because he likes Rocket Raccoon. And I bought him a Howard the Duck that we found in the dollar bin.
I hope you were careful about which one it was.
It was a much later one.
One of the tamer ones, maybe?
It's the one where they make a fire hydrant suit, so he turns into Iron Duck to fight Dr. Bong.
Oh, this is a much better conversation than anything we're going to get out of these DC books.
Well, let's just delve right in. Oh, and I did my usual dollar box dive, which brought us to the dollar bin, y'all.
Yeah.
What did I find? Not a ton. I didn't. Obviously, I wasn't there for me, so it's not like I'd be like, "All right, boys, now go entertain your tiny selves for a while I delve through cheap comic books." I found a G.I. Joe special missions for the fuck of it,
Which is pretty cool. It was like 13, right? So it was pretty early on.
15.
15. So it was still had decent stories at that point.
And Herb Trimp was still on it, so that's nice.
Yes.
World's Finest, number 233,
in
in which Clark and Bruce Jr. team up with a space alien who, in a town of beautiful women.
What's the space alien look like?
A tentacled eye monster. It's a girl. And
How is that relevant?
it really is, because the alien is so ugly. Like, this is a legitimate thing. This is a real comic book. That it gathers all these beautiful women and plants a virus in them to turn them into horrible lizard people.
Oh, no.
And the only cure for this virus is the touch of a man.
Wow. Thank you, Silver Age.
Yes. So, in the end, the alien is shot off the planet because the tower in the town the clock tower is actually a spaceship, and goes off where it's captured by the Intergalactic Patrol or some ridiculous shit, who put her in a cell surrounded by mirrors to torture her.
Oh.
And meanwhile, Clark watches as Bruce Jr., I swear to God, I'm not making this shit up, saves the entire town by making out with each girl.
Oh, shit.
So that happened.
Wow. Only in the 60s, man. Only in the 60s.
Then I have a Defenders, number 58, with what I was hoping for first, but turned out to be a second appearance of the Devil Slayer.
Now, what is it that draws you to Devil Slayer that you
Absolutely
want
nothing. Like, just the randomness of 70 ridiculousness. Well, if you think back, and this is a while back, this is at least 2 years ago, we covered a New Avengers annual, in which Wonder Man created his alternate Avengers.
Ah, yeah.
And Devil Slayer. And I believe our exact quote, we went through the entire cast of the, Wonder Avengers. And our exact comment was, who the fuck is Devil Slayer? And having read this, I can tell you that I still don't fucking know. He pulls weapons out of his cape, which is pretty fucking bad.
Well, it's pretty standard, really. There's always some hero pulling weapons out of something.
But yeah, it was a rough one. And then the highlight, Avengers 184, which I actually found in the D's of all things. So, this was meant to be mine, apparently. With a George Perez cover.
Nice.
And a John Byrne inside art.
Featuring the Absorbing Man.
Has Miss Marvel joined the Avengers only to fall before Crusher Creel.
Nobody falls before Crusher Creel, man.
Dude, if you ever want to not take the Beast seriously, read Old Avengers. Like, that dude is inept. I believe he jumps in the water to save a knocked out Miss Marvel, who has to pull his heavy, furry ass back up. It's like, oh, wait, I'm like a ton of blue, and we've already talked about the wet Beast smells. Horrible.
Back when he was smart, but he wasn't like Reed Richards smart.
No, that was back when he was like disco smart. Like
disco smart. What does that even mean?
It means that he was more interested in picking up babes with Wonder Man and going to the damn disco. Like, forever. If you go back and read the Beast, you're like, dude, you're like half a moron.
Well,
that's like that kid that you picked on in school, and your mom's like, no, he's really smart, I'm like, he eats paste. He's not that fucking smart. Like, I don't know where you adults are getting this shit, but I've literally seen that kid lick a wall. Like, you need to back off. Like, I don't care what grades he get. That kid's part monkey.
Part monkey. Oh, my God. Let's talk about G.I. Zombie.
No, let's not.
Oh, we got to. It's part of the thing.
Stupid thing. All right, here's the thing.
We could stop DC's altogether. I mean, I could just buy Batman and Detective and then call it even.
Wouldn't you feel a little weird not covering one of the big two, though?
At this rate, it's not only a bit of torture, it's also economically stupid. I'm paying for shit I can't stand.
Well, the highs of G.I. Zombie. There are exactly two positives about this book.
The Darwin cover.
Number one is the Darwin Cook cover. I was actually going to go with number two because that is the highest point. The cover looks awesome. If the inside art was this, you'd be like, oh my God, I hate this, but I can't wait to read the next one.
Right.
Like, it looks phenomenal. And the art inside is not terrible, but it's just not fucking Darwin Cook drawing a zombie. Like, come on. The other high is the name G.I. Zombie. That's it.
That's where it ended.
Yeah, that's it. Like, I'm like, oh, cool, G.I. Zombie. I like that title.
Wasn't there previously a G.I. Zombie? Isn't this another revival?
I don't, and I can't believe I'm saying this, I am unfamiliar if there was.
What, in like fucking Haunted War Stories or some shit?
I don't remember a G.I. Zombie. And you'd think if anyone did, it would be me. But no, if there was one, I cannot confirm or deny that.
Well. The thing is, and I don't even remember the guy's name, that's how unremarkable this fucking story was.
Oh my God. Well, first off, if you're going to have a G.I. Zombie,
have him be a GI.
Yeah, okay. FBI zombie, no, agents. If they'd gone with secret agent zombie,
sure. Agent Z, something that fit what he was. But it's only his backstory that at some point he was a soldier, and that's just not good enough for a book that starts off with GI.
So, I mean, first off, it's revealed that he's not a soldier. And then it's also, if you read the comic, he's not really a very good zombie.
No, not at all.
I've never really researched zombies outside of watching a crap ton of crappy movies and the 4 good zombie films that are out there. But I'm pretty sure if you cut a zombie's hand off, it doesn't congeal back on.
No, it really doesn't.
Like, the rules of zombies are a little bit vague.
Yeah, there could have been something else they could have called it. He's undead of some sort. But is he? I mean, people in general are warping zombie, the word and the concept, so much because it's starting to get a little played.
No, you know what? Like, I don't think that you need to change too much about certain things. Like, it's a zombie. Let it be a goddamn zombie. All right. I was like, well, we need him to grow his hands back on. No, you don't. There was no reason to cut his hands off just so they could congeal back on. And they didn't, reattach. It was like watching...
Yeah.
It's like cutting Jell-O with a knife and then refreezing it. Like, shit.
I saw that. I was like, what are you talking about? No, Europa Report is kind of blah. No, it's... So, there's this undercover blonde girl, and she's trying to figure out what's going on in the biker gang assholes of backwoods Mississippi, and she has to prove herself, and to do that she sets up G.I. Zombie and blows his head off to prove how hardcore she is. She hates feds. Blah, 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 blah.
And then, first off, you know what'll really get me in is murdering a Fed with these guys. It's okay, fair enough. You prove that you're a hardcore psycho enough to hang with bikers. I guess that's a plan. But then you have the charming moment where the zombie wanders off and he's like, oh, I got to go eat somebody. Like, I'm a little peckish after all this congealing. And, of course, stereotypically, here's an abusive husband.
We'll eat him out of revenge.
Yeah, and it's like, well, do you always find an asshole? Like, is that how that works? Does that usually go well for you, G.I. Zombie? And secondly, I don't care how big a dick your dad is. Him punching Mom in the face is a very bad thing.
Yes,
no one is saying yay.
Nope.
But you eating him while the kid's got two fucking hands in the window of the station wagon is going to leave a pretty large psychological mark.
Yeah, it's difficult to tell which mark is going to be bigger.
It's like, yes, my father was a dick, and then some random dude came up and ate him. I'm going to be in therapy forever.
I never got any resolution. I never told him I hate him. He
was still my dad, and you ate him. Like, there's just no way. Like, you can't come back from eating people. Like that. There's a line.
You can't come back.
If the Donner Party taught us nothing else, it's that eating people is where everyone draws the line.
I know eating people is pretty fucking weird.
And that was it. Like, I can't envision a scenario where I'm like, ooh, we better get the next one of these in case he eats somebody else. Like, whoopity crap.
Unfortunately, we are getting the second one because you can never tell that shit and you got to order so far ahead. However, I filled out the form for the next one today and it's not coming. What is going on here? This is very frightening to me. Oh, that's what I thought it was. A smoking clown banging some... Oh, this is terrible. So, Sinestro 2, because I'm done with G.I. Zombie. I got nothing to do with no G.I. Zombie anymore. I'll read the next one. I'll be disappointed. Can't handle. Wow, that's a terrible place for a caravan, right on the edge of a cliff. I mean, what the hell was he thinking?
Hey, when you have a horror movie called Stitches about clowns, things are not going to go well.
Yeah, well, in Sinestro 2, they go off somewhere and they have a big fight, and the Inquisitors come around. The Inquisitors. Wow.
They are legitimately unpleasant.
Yes, they have decided to eschew all emotions in favor of some mission that was incredibly unclear to me.
It's true.
Is true? That's the best you got? You know?
It is very true. Like, it's a stereotypical, like, we don't feel emotion. But the way that they are, like, cutting a swath through emotion in this whole, like, they fit in well into the Green Lantern universe of everyone is run by emotion.
Yeah.
And then the moment where Sinestro reteaches them fear is pretty impressive.
That is pretty good.
And the way they fuck over one of the Yellow Lanterns.
Yeah,
like,
Yellow Lanterns.
There's some solid stuff happening here. And the awesome, awesome moment where Sinestro discovers that his daughter has been storing his people with his mortal enemy / best friend,
Hal Jordan.
That is particularly great. Like, you can't not be excited about that.
I was kind of creeped out by the guy who decided, you know what, we've had a victory, we should have sex.
They're yellow, like, on no level are you not expecting them to be dill holes. Like,
but, I expect them to want to, irritate people and fill them with fear, etc., and not become just giant horn dogs.
But they're dicks. Like, of course one of them is going to be that kind of dick. You have to assume that they're going to behave badly, some of them. Like, the only way a Yellow Lantern is good is if there's a Red Lantern next door. It's like, oh, well, there's Yellow Lantern Bob being uber creepy. Oh, well, here's Red Lantern Bob fucking a mailbox, so, you know what? I'll be over
say
here.
Something like that again. You're too tired.
But you know what I'm saying? It's like Yellow Lanterns are horribly unpleasant to be around. And then the Red Lantern shows up, and you're like, well, at least they're not sodomizing my dog. Like, good God. Like, do you really need to drool over everything? Like, what's wrong with you? I'm a Red Lantern.
Yeah.
And that stops oral hygiene? I mean, good God.
Wow. But it is the shining example of what a good comic can be in the DC universe right now.
Yeah, I'm not even reading Green Lantern. I'm reading Sinestro.
Yeah,
and
we're
I'm
reading
fine
the
with
bad
it.
guys book, and we're
Because
happy
it is
with it.
Awesome, Sinestro. Like, and you're fairly convinced at this point that Sinestro could end Hal Jordan. Like,
Oh yeah, Hal's got nothing these days.
it's
man.
sad. Like, we're rooting for like, go kick Hero's ass, Sinestro. Use fear. Free your people. Be a dick.
But I am enjoying it, so whatever. We're good. I'm going to keep getting that. I was theorizing.
As am I.
I was theorizing I might go all the way down to Sinestro, Batman, and Detective. And I'm going to be frank with you. I'm only keeping around Batman because I can't bear in my heart to not buy the main Bat book. I can't do it, yo.
It's too painful.
It would hurt me to my very
There's so many
soul.
Bat books out there right now, and you've broken it down to two. Like, you've whittled away everything else.
Well, actually, not gonna lie, Superman has started to come back a little bit. The first Johns and JR issue was pretty decent. It hooked me enough, and now the second one that we're going to talk about now was nice, but it was really fucking talky, dude. It was so talky. Like usual, Perry is having his "I'm Perry White, you're gonna get me a story" routine with the entire fucking writing staff in his office. Instead of out there getting stories, he's mad about something or other, because he's always fucking mad.
You know
Because that's
what?
Perry fucking White.
But you know what really drove me nuts? And I loved it. I loved, bringing all the characters and Ron Troop, like everybody having their own editorials and whatnot. There were some really cool moments. But the part where Perry is yelling at his sports editor to get him a Superman story was so awful. It's like, Lombardi, let's write about teaming up. Like,
It's terrible. The sports guy got nothing to do with Superman.
It's like, dude, come on. Really,
Don't you have a nerd desk that can do
like,
this shit?
You can't be thinking for a second, Perry, like, I'm going to do that. Like, first off, I have a specific job. It does not involve Superman. You know what? When he fought Muhammad Ali, I covered that story for him. That was the end of my Superman reporting.
Pretty much. Do you
By
got
the
a
way,
copy
kids,
of that?
that actually happened. I do not have a copy of that.
We got to find a copy of that. I want a copy of that.
I have never even seen one of those.
Nah, it's got to be around here somewhere. See, that's not how knives work, kids. And now Mom is shaking the Jello. Whoa, that was some funky Jello, man.
All Jello is funky, baby. It's the funkiest desserts.
But his art has taken an interesting turn lately. He's a little less blocky than he was, but I don't know if he's quite gotten back to the smooth lines of his X-Men days just yet.
Well, X-Men, you gotta think early X-Men, because his later Return to X-Men was like the blockiest shit ever.
Yeah, that was not so hot.
It's like whenever Bishop showed up, you're like, wow, you're like a Buick with a goatee.
Yes. I am talking, 198,
Yeah,
180 to 220, something in there like
right
that.
after Paul Smith.
Yeah.
But you have to also think that like he's being inked by Chance in here, which is
going to add blockiness.
But yeah,
and scratchiness. And I dig it. But, whatever. So, poor Ulysses is left just hanging around the house while Clark has his tete-a-tete with Perry as he tries to hire him back still. So he wanders around town and he's like, I'll take a hot dog. No, what's money? Hello, handsome. My name is Neo. Which amused me. He's from another dimension, blah, 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 doesn't understand dough, is funny, wah, wah. But then things start blowing up.
I love the little robot shaped like army dudes. Like, that was just awesome. Like, that's a Superman film. Like, what in the Sam fuck is this? We're being attacked by army. Apparently, Toy Story is rating. Buzz Lightyear steals from Metropolitan.
What was that? Small Soldiers.
That's
what it was. Yeah, that
funky,
sucked,
horrible,
dude. I remember that being. Oh, I thought this was going to be a kids comedy thing. Oh no, it's a very dark and nasty fucking thing. That movie's terrible, dude.
Not good. Wait, the monsters are the good guys, the soldiers are the bad. Like, even what I wanted to like about this film, you just took away from me.
But then at the end of it all, you know, the villain army guys are defeated, and we're taken to see Ulysses' mom and pop. Yay! He has a mommy!
And then they have this weird long shot of Superman, like, you can't have friends. For now. Like, wait, what? What the fuck is going on?
Clark? What you talking about, man?
It is just strange. Like, it's not a terrible book by any stretch of the imagination. It is, Superman is improving. But, yeah, I don't understand what's going on here at all.
No.
And Ulysses is just, like, the brand new, super powerful, just like me. Like, what are you, Will of the Wisp? Like, I'm all set with you. Also drawn by J.R.J.R. and his Spider-Man, you know, or what was the name of that guy?
Right.
Spider-Man had as a sidekick not too long ago.
Oh, Alpha.
Yeah, like, I mean, I just don't see any point to Ulysses or U-Man or whatever the hell they're going to call him.
Ulysses. They're not going to call him U-Man. Come on.
They have the U-Men in Marvel. Why not?
UFOs.
UFOs, that's right.
I was going to mention that, but you beat me to it because they suck.
I'm Vortex. You are
Thanks.
you cookie cutter villain, you.
They're creepy motherfuckers. I don't care for them. So, any more about that book?
You know what? So far, it has promise. Little more dialogue than I need.
Don't make me watch a kid plop his fucking zits, man. What's gonna happen? Jesus Christ, fellas.
But there's definitely some positives going on, but it hasn't fully grabbed me. I'm like, ooh, I can't wait for the next Superman yet.
No, not just yet. I'm getting there. I think it'll turn out okay. We gotta give it a little more time. I feel weird not buying a super book. Not as weird as I would not reading a Bat book.
See, I have to be honest. Like, I don't think I've ever seen you routinely buy a Superman book.
Well, not the last couple of years,
Yeah,
but
it
I've
used to be
always
a thing?
wanted to.
Interesting.
I've really looked at it and I say I should be reading Superman. There should be nothing wrong in my mind with Superman, but some of these stories are just kind of bleh. And I'm not one of those assholes who's like, Superman must kill. You must update him. No, I'm quite happy with him just punching stuff and being a good guy. But they had him punching stuff and being a good guy in very boring ways.
Oh yeah, no. The problem with Superman is you like it in theory, and then you're reading it. Well, I mean, plus you can't really. It's so hard to go back. Old school Superman, like you find an old Batman and from the 70s, because finding an old Batman from the 60s is too goddamn awesome to even consider. But you find one from the 70s, you get these most random, insane stories, like all over the place, like Kite Man and whatnot. And Superman, you just don't get a lot of cool. Like it's like Kurt Swan, everything looks, polished and fine.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to hear a bad word about Kurt Swan, but at no point you're like, ooh, I wonder, where weirdness this is going to take. It just doesn't feel the same.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So speaking of bad books, Year Zero is finally fucking over.
Oh
dude.
my god.
I am so happy that this storyline is finito. He beat the Riddler by a lot of overly wordy riddle explanations.
I like the aspect I liked of it. First off, they made the Riddler pretty interesting. The whole taking over Gotham thing was so goddamn bad played out that I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
Like, and I've got this freaking attached to my chest. No, I'm all set with you, and you're freaking, all the power will go out if you, no.
Yeah, that was kind of dumb. I mean, this tiny little thing on his chest is projecting all the energy for all those quote unquote servers that are controlling all the energy in Gotham. Why don't you just unplug the fucking servers, man? I mean, shit. Blew my mind. And then Bats has to fucking defibrillate himself to reboot the control disc or whatever the fuck he wants to call it. Come on. But reading over and over again those bubbles where he had to explain those fucking riddles was just killing me. I hated every word bubble doing that.
But here's
Louse sounds like house, and lice killed Hippocrates, and whatever. Shut the fuck up.
I like the fact, though, that there was a legitimate, like, a logic to the answer. And it's not like, oh, you know.
Well, sure, but they used 12 balloons when 3 would have done.
I'll give you that. It was very detailed. But here's the thing. Like, I think you're so sick of year one that you're looking for things to be sick of. Because this is what you've been waiting for. Here's a Batman who is a detective who figures things out before the Riddler. And not only is he figuring out the riddles, but he figures out when he doesn't need to figure them out anymore.
Yeah.
So he answers a riddle in a way where he's smarter.
That's true, because he already had the giant penny interfering with this with the signal.
Right.
So he just played Riddler along with it.
So, I mean, this is what you've been clamoring for, is the smart Batman. Finally.
Yeah, you're right.
But it's trapped in the middle of year one, and you're like, dude, crocodiles, like fucking bearded Gordon, monkey climbing up vines, and got like, what the fuck? Beast Gordon? Like, no, I'm not down with Beast Gordon. Mark Singer is not the actor for James Gordon. That's ridiculous.
He did have one giant goddamn beard in this one, man.
Jim Gordon is all man, dude. That guy grows a beard in like 8 minutes.
You can watch that shit grow. I mean,
you can't. You just turn away and it's back. It's like, what the fuck, Jim?
It's all true, man.
So, yeah, I think...
when it's over, we might have another storyline that might actually be cool.
We're going back to Man-Bat.
Shut the fuck up. I don't ever need you to say those words. That's horrifying. Why would you do that to me?
It's going to be a Professor Pig Man-Bat team-up. Oh! Because they're the only goddamn villains who routinely show up anymore.
Oh, I hate you so much. Why would you say that?
Well, they're going to have a clone child called Man-Pig.
Man-Bear Pig? Man-Bat Pig.
Then you need to have Grizzly, so... But yeah, like it's like... but I finally got an epic Riddler story. I'm like, yeah, they're using another cool villain, and then it was so bad. I'm like, I don't fucking care. Like, stop! But then at the end, it's like, oh, well, here's Bruce being really smart. And they're reestablishing, you know, Lucius and Gordon in... so there are strong aspects of this. The art looks great. Snyder is a talented writer. But year zero has been so frustratingly long.
Yes. I didn't need this. But it's over. I'm going to think positively about future issues of Batman. And I think we're going to be okay. Why is he pulling guts out?
I'm not sure.
Just say it's guts. I don't want to know. Oh, God, stop it. Detective Comics 33. Where, okay, let's pull out the cliches. The grizzled old detective cop used to be a boxer.
Oh, yeah, that was a favorite. Like Harvey Bullock, professional boxer. No, not in any other lifetime.
And it wasn't even enough to just to say, oh, I boxed. He has to pull out the golden gloves line. It's like, is there such a thing as golden fucking gloves, or is that some shit they make up to say that a character was a good boxer?
There is a thing called Golden Gloves. It's an actual boxing tournament type thing.
Ah, okay. So I learned something today, but it still irritates me.
Oh, and let's not forget, you know, he used to have a partner who's now dead that, you know, you're not allowed to talk about
because you're never allowed to talk about anybody.
And
whenever someone is sensitive about someone and you mention their name, you are required as an author to write the line, you don't get to say their name.
So bad.
All the time. Everybody writes that shit. Everybody.
Some variation on that line. Yes, it's inevitable.
Don't you talk about Bob.
So, Harvey is very complicated. Duly noted.
He's got a sensitive side with all his kitties.
Although, to be fair, he's always had a sense. The kitty thing was so bad. Like Harvey Bullock, you expect like one really malnourished dog trapped in a corner.
Pretty much.
Well, actually, or very, like, eating garbage. Fortunately, Harvey drops a lot of food, so I eat pretty well.
Eating 30-day-old donuts, man.
Yeah. Dude, does he ever feed you? No, but you know what? Like, he drops half a sandwich, like, every 24 hours. Like, you have no idea how filthy. It's like dog heaven. So I'm okay. Like, no, I don't get chow, but yeah, he drops a ton of food, guys. Like dog support groups.
Hi, I'm Rover. My owner's Harvey Bullock. Hi, Rover.
Bat villain dog support group. I'm Ace the Bat Hound. This mass chafe, something awful. I only get called out when they need me to smell something. I've never been petted. Think about that for a second. Ace the Bat Hound sits there. It's like, oh, good job, Ace.
Could you ever... Okay, you know, back in the Silver Age when Ace was actually around and played straight, I could see that Batman playing catch in the yard in the middle of the day.
The Silver Age is
54 to
then yes,
usually around 68 to 72.
Okay, then yes, that Batman you definitely have pictures of him like good dog.
Yeah, absolutely. He's affectionate toward animals.
Yeah, but 70s?
Oh fuck no.
No, it's like Ace, good job. Go back and work on your mathematics. You know I'm a motherfucking dog, right?
Dogs don't do trig, man.
Ace, what is the logistics that you'll need in order to make this jump?
Well, if we take the cotangent of the parabolic arc of the... Shut the fuck up! I want to jump!
Yeah, woof. Woof, sir. That's as good as I'll go.
Now, I lost track, honestly. This girl whose mother died, what position does she hold in this storyline?
I don't know. Her dad is apparently a biker dickweed.
Whom she didn't know
right.
until this issue.
But there's all sorts of drug deals and difficulties and insane shit happening. But they're kind of... so they bring the guy who actually is supposed to... Which we don't necessarily believe.
Right.
You've got just a lot of random things, but she's they introduced her like motorbike. I assume they're introducing a new heroine type thing because that seems to be
maybe.
all they do.
Yeah, it's like character. Every
like
storyline's...
You know, it's like ka-chung.
Yeah.
What do we do here? Make a new bat sidekick. We've used a lot of birds.
Sure.
Fine, she's the frog.
The amphibian.
Senora Ribbity, whatever.
I'm sure there's no... do you think there's a character named the amphibian?
I don't know. There is the fabulous frogman.
Well, yes. And, you know, we honor the fabulous frog.
And the sewer urchin.
But... yeah. So, eventually, it comes down to Harvey and Bats going toe-to-toe because, you know, reasons. I still wasn't clear. I mean, they showed up at this old factory, this cane chemical thing, and, you know, Harvey pulls the old "I'm a grizzled cop and I don't like vigilantes" routine. And then he spits in his face because he doesn't like being told about his partner. And there's fists and punches, and the issue ends. And
I'm the real detective. You're a freak in a cape. Well, that sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah.
I just, somebody figure out what Batman needs because it's not this. And they're putting talented people on here, and
I'm telling you, I think that this is another problem with. See, didn't the guy that did Chew, wasn't he on here for a while? And then now it's Maniple now?
Yep.
So...
Layman, I think.
Yeah, Layman. So, are they pulling this editorial crap where, oh, well, I wanted to do that, but you're telling me to fuck off?
I don't know. I mean, they're pulling legitimate, talented people onto this book, and I'm still like... murmur. Grumble.
I'm with you.
Like, I don't think Bats is complicated. Like, shit, I'm dark and I'm moody and I punch things in the face. Like, how fucking hard is that?
Yeah, I can track a man in the fog from, 48 hours ago. How difficult is it? But no, they want to get funky and huge and everything's got to be a risk to the city. And as I've said many, many, many times before around this joint, I feel Batman's a much more personal character. That's my view. And we can go back around in circles again all night long.
But they're putting out like this essential Batman period, and other than Grant Morrison, nothing in there is remotely recent.
Nope, pretty much. So, having established that we don't like that one, there's the penultimate issue of Superman Unchained, where Wraith is fighting Batman in the Batcave, along with Wonder Woman, Supes, and Lois, who is now apparently the protector of the Earthstone, are dealing with her father's, troops, and there's a lot of fighting and a
Raid
lot of,
on the Fortress of Solitude.
yeah, and there's a lot of noise and there's a lot of sound effects and
Everything
punching.
looks great.
It does. It really does. But it's Lee, so it was never going to last.
Here's what I like. I really enjoyed Wraith fighting Batman and Batman having all sorts of play. It's like, oh, well, that shit, I can't use that Superman because we're kind of buddies right now. Oh, you're kind of in Superman's league? Watch how this works. And when he hits him with like 45 Batmobiles, well, that seems like a terrible plan to me, but I mean, who knows? On the other hand, the whole sequence of Superman fighting Lane, and then I've got a crystal, so I can fuck a lot of shit up. Like, there were some definite problems there. But when Superman comes out in the armor, like, I don't love the new Superman, but he comes out in Kryptonian armor going, oh yeah, here's the belt, ding ding. Ugh. I thought, all right, I'd like a character who does that. It's just not Superman.
The whole thing, there is no purpose to Superman having armor. There's not. I don't care how much you
They've got
depower him.
Kryptonian
He's
bullets
still
or whatever
Superman.
dumbass shit they're doing.
There's always some loser that's fucking gotten chips of kryptonite and put them in cartridges, and next thing you know is, oh look, it's fucking bullets. Blah. Bores me.
Yeah, I cannot wait for, I don't care about Wraith, and I'm never getting another storyline, so I'm like, all right, just one more and done.
Well, you know what? Lane in that mecha reminded me of that kooky-ass Marine Colonel from Avatar.
Oh, fair enough. I got a Thunderbolt Ross vibe.
Yeah, that works too. Ross never really got that up close and personal.
No, that's not true. The Redeemer armor.
Well, that was one.
He turned into the red. Like, he got in a lot of different things if you think back.
I'm trying, and I'm not hitting them. So I'll just have to believe you. Which is usually a bad sentence where you're involved.
Ouch. Not in comic history.
Okay, well, all right, fine.
And you should do this, and this is a good idea because, yes, totally don't believe me. But I have faith in you. Never believe me. No.
Wow.
Zing.
All right, I was wrong for bringing that sentence up. I should have left it alone and said, I trust you.
You should never, But
wow, we're almost done.
DC week, man.
Woo, doggies. 42 minutes. Actually, that's not too bad. All right, so Secret Origins, which is still disappointing me. This month we got Harley Quinn, Green Arrow, and Damian Robin. Because you can never get enough fucking Robin.
Really, in 4 issues we gotta go through 2 Robins? Like, this just seems blah. Like, fucking give me a give me a Terraman. Like, give me something random. Like, I don't. Like, who has their own book? I'll give them an origin. For fuck's sake.
Yeah, talk about characters that aren't. We can't just grab at any point and say, well, this is their book, I know what's going on. It's the secret fucking origins, man. And I think we know by now Harley Quinn was a kook of a psychiatrist who, well, some of the details have changed. She didn't go undercover, so to speak.
Yeah, she wasn't banging the warden previously. Like, woohoo, there's a new one. And the warden dying was slightly surprising. But yeah, like most of it, she didn't dye her hair earlier. Ooh, that's a big difference. She and her blowing up 18 dudes for no reason. Like, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
Where did that make any kind of sense whatsoever?
The captive audience where she was telling them her origin, that I believe she would do something like that. That's fine.
But why? What are they? Superheroes, villains? And why is she blowing them up? Like, none of that made any sense to me.
No, because she's a lunatic. That's what it is.
Oh, and Oliver Queen being a really good
crazy
archer.
person is crazy,
Yeah,
as they say in Everything Wrong With.
And then Oliver Queen was an excellent archer before he ended up on an island. He just got drunk and forgot how to shoot arrows for a while. What? No, what? No.
Yeah, that one I was not happy with. I didn't like the art all that much either. So whatever.
It was a rough road to hoe. And then
I really wanted to punch someone for the art in the Damien story.
it was very surreal. It didn't like some of the Damien montage shots. I'm like, what am I looking at? Like, why is this happening?
Yeah. And the constant lines on everything.
But that was Peter Tomasi wrote the best origin story. Like having Alfred write the letter that Damien needed to be Robin was awesome.
That concept was pretty interesting.
The best thing to come out of the New 52 is Alfred. Like the Alfred they're writing is phenomenal. Everything else I kind of hate, but Alfred is amazing.
I don't like his call sign Penny One, but he overall himself is good. You're right. Absolutely true.
Penny One is ridiculously bad. I'll give you that. The fact that Alfred Pennyworth has a call sign is horrifyingly awful. Like it's the bat. Who else is going to pick up bats? You freak. Like I actually built this line on an entirely unused, unheard of phone technique that involves crystals and small frog babies, and yet you need a secret password in case somebody hacks it. You're literally the most paranoid man ever.
Yeah, that goes too far.
And Penny, like that, like if you're gonna have a call sign, Penny, that's like being Wayne Butler one. Like, fuck off.
Yeah, things are not supposed to be clear when you're stalking in the clear.
Like,
code names are coded names.
Like, give me Cool Cat 7. No one's figuring that shit out. SmurfBaby9. Like, yes, fine.
SmurfBaby9.
Because you're sitting there, if you're an evil villain, you're like, wow, all right, we know that. I was wondering if it was Bruce Wayne, but there's no way on earth that Alfred Pennyworth is SmurfBaby9. Like, that's impossible. And there's your title.
Wow, I'm just gonna let you go.
But yeah, like Pennyworth's like, all right, well, let's see if I can do the math on this clever code.
It's so dumb. Now the actual DCs are over, so woo, freedom.
Oh wait, no, here comes.
What? You didn't like Bodies?
Bodies was, well, you've got 4 timelines,
right?
So you got 4 different stories, sort of.
Yes. 4 different detectives investigating the same dead, mutilated, flayed body.
Some of which were kind of interesting, some which were not.
Yes. I did not need to see the bearded lady blowing the guy in the middle of the street. That's not something I'm looking forward to.
I like the 1850s storyline. I didn't love the art on that one. And, I mean, there's a level of perverse running through the whole thing.
Yeah, a bit.
I mean, the modern day storyline with the Islamic detective was kind of interesting.
Yes, I did.
It also had probably the strongest art.
Yep.
I like 1800 stuff, so I liked the idea, and then confusing it with the Ripper. I mean, I'm watching Ripper Street and Copper, for God's sake, so fine with that. I mean, they were going gruesome, but everything's going to look kind of ugly in that period.
Yeah.
The future, where she wasn't sure what a ball was or what the name of a corpse was, and she's a detective, was so horrifyingly awful.
That didn't make. It's only 2050 they got this thing set in. This is not. Nobody's going to forget a ball in the next 40 fucking years.
And if you don't know the word corpse, you probably shouldn't be a detective. That's just, call me crazy.
I mean, there's slang, and then there's language evolution, and then there's that.
And then the British gangster who created the body, theoretically. But, first off, we seem to be dealing with time travel, which I loathe.
It's depending on the type of time travel. If it's some deliberate thing with a machine, I'm against that 1,000%
Well, there's no way no one's just carrying this deformed body and redropping it off.
No, I mean if this particular body is displaced temporally, so to speak, then if they can cook up a decent enough reason that happened, then I'll be okay. But if it's just, oh, there was a horrible experiment by Edison in fucking London that year with the exposition.
If the words Nikola Tesla show up anywhere in there,
I'm not going to be happy.
But
I got room in my comics for one fucking Tesla.
You have two.
And that's over in Atomic Robo. Who's the other one? Five-Fifths of Science? Okay. But that's I think that was pretty much a one-shot. There was like two, maybe?
One that I know of.
Yeah.
But you own it, so I mean, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I see. But, I mean,
that's your Tesla. Well, Tesla is one. Tesla
is plural?
Yeah. Like a flock of Tesla, or a pride of Tesla.
A Coulomb of
Tesla?
Actually,
I believe it's a pride of Edison and a flock of Tesla.
Maybe that's the title. So, the wake is over, so yippee for that.
Yay! Mermen are saving our dreams by eating our faces.
Fuck off, Snyder. He can't even think up... His science is so fucking bad, he can't even think up a weird little idea about how life got seeded on the planet from outer space. I mean, and I know you're going to make fun of this somehow, but panspermia...
I'm not, because there's no point in it. Like, that makes fun of itself. It's like self-retro... It's like, anyone who says that word, it's like, oh, I'm a tool.
It's a concept that people came up with, and galactically, cosmologically speaking, it's okay.
What is the theory of panspermia?
Well, the idea was that life came from one central point and spread out across the universe, and essentially as spore-like entities, and whatever planet they settled on, they began their evolution there and became evolved beings in that ecosystem. Pretty basic.
Yeah.
But if you're going to tell me that, they created a ladder where we're required to break off the top rung because there's mermen underneath us eating our faces, go fuck yourself.
The only thing that bothers me more than this book is the fact that this book is popular. Like,
is it? I never see anybody talking about it.
I thought you were the one who told me that people were raving about it.
I might have seen one or two quick Twitter things about that, but I've never seen reviews that said this is the book to read.
Yeah, I don't understand the wake. I thought the monsters were attacking our science base was kind of interesting, and they threw that storyline away so that I've been down here the whole time. A dream,
really?
Remembering a memory of a short story that I wrote about mermen and fish sex. But that was, it was college. I was experimenting. Like, no, ew, and ew. Like, I don't understand any of this fucking thing. It's over. I'm done with mermen. Like, the next
really, Mom?
Like, take your mermen and go.
I think you might have had been a little going on there. What the fuck were you doing? Put the bong down. The Maui Wowie is for the guests.
Your mind is not opaque. You need to stop. Nobody loves the merman.
It's so bad. Well, they're so fucking ugly, man. They got these giant teeth. They don't even have faces, really. At any rate, let's get to a book we like.
What do you got?
We got Unwritten Apocalypse, number 7.
It is still confusing as fuck.
It is, but it's also a cool kind of confusing. Now, like usual, they have to get into a story to make progress toward their end goal, which in this case is the Holy Grail, because reasons.
You know what? I mean, everything else, so many stories lead to it. It's a focal fiction story point, so obviously it has powers. So I can handle that. I love the fact that Pullman is teaming up with Paulie the bunny rabbit. Like, that just makes me happy. So there's some pretty cool things going on. Like, and they are handling we're trapped in the world of freaking Arthurian romances, and there are rules.
There's tons of rules, and he has to fight fights honorably or not be involved when somebody whacks them in the head and sucker punches them.
And there's a troll.
There's a giant
Bigfoot
ogre thing.
Hill monster.
Who knows? Named Ogoglia or whatever the fuck it is.
And then, of course, there's some shape-changing chick. You know what my problem is? It's like everyone assumes the worst of Tommy all the time.
Yeah, they should know him by now, and they know he never actually does any of the bad shit they're yelling at him for.
How dare you bang that woman and rape her? Like, Tommy,
My pants are still on, you dippy twat.
I mean, I walked into a door line is kind of funny and how horrible it is. Like, really? Like,
there is no door out here.
But Lizzie should know better. I had a huge problem with that being believable on any level. Like,
Yeah,
okay,
she really ought to.
like, there's no chance that this insane naked woman that showed up in the 5 minutes that we were down the hill got raped by Tommy, who's never done anything remotely like that.
Nope.
Yeah, that's a logical progression.
But, you know, you have to create more tension somehow. And the only reason, you know, he already beat the ogre.
Yeah, but
so
you
they
know,
had to find a way to bring the ogre back and fuck him.
But, I mean, I feel like there's enough tension in the damn book to begin with.
There
Like,
probably is, and Carrie might be overreaching at this point, looking for tension.
like freeing the father of the French kids who was Ambroglio somehow. Like, there's a lot of strange things going on in this book. And it's really, like, you can't dip a toe in this book. You have to, like, dive the fuck in.
You got to go in the deep end.
Like, this is the kind of thing, I don't know what people do with their comics, nor do I particularly care, but, like, if you enjoy this book, you should be keeping this shit out and going back and rereading them as new issues come in, because you can't go a month in between and be like, oh, this makes perfect fucking sense to me. No, unless you don't read any other comics. At the level that I'm required to read this shit, plus the shit I do on my own, like, you need to go back and be like, all right, what the fuck happened? How are you a bunny rabbit? And
at points, it's not too bad, because I read them the first time.
Right.
And then I summarize them later, and I'm going back through them again. And then we get to talk about them. So I'm really getting 3 hits on each issue of these things. And yet I still miss.
Yeah, and there's still moments. When did that happen? Like, I've looked at this shit twice, and we're talking about it, and you're talking about a thing. Because what I catch and what you catch are always different. Not always, but, you know, there's going to be little things that somebody sees as important, something I think will be huge later on, and something you think will be huge. Like, so you're going to catch little things. But there's so much happening in this book, and the art changes every 8 fucking minutes, so...
Well, you know... You can tell it's the same guy, though.
I did think...
it's just because of the different milieus that each story are in.
Well, sure. I mean, it's all logical. And the things that have shown up and disappeared and whatnot, like Frankenstein and the superhero, the golden slipper, whatever the hell his name was.
And some of them don't seem to have a reason not to be around anymore.
Or to have shown up in the first place. There's
Like, why did Frankenstein leave?
The convoluted nature of this book, there's a lot of positives to it and some very strange negatives. However, overall, it's a phenomenal read, and it's really interesting.
Yep.
And it repays multiple readings. And what more do you want than that?
I don't know if there is anything more to ask about that.
Like, if you had graphics, it's the kind of shit that you lend out. Like, oh, you don't like comics? Well, try this. You like books, but you don't like comics? Here's both. Enjoy.
You know, I still got to get you those 2.
Oh, the last 2, yeah.
Yeah, it turns out there's 2 more. There's one available now, and there's going to be one available in October.
Lying bitches.
So, you know, I'll give you 7 and 8. And
I really need to start buying them.
9 is
I
out,
have 1.
10 is coming.
I need to really reread a lot of this.
But, I having caught up on 7 and then 8, I don't think Apocalypse left us in the lurch nearly as much as you've made out in previous episodes.
Well, I haven't read 7 8, so I'm much further in the lurch than you. You can't really... I'm not sure that's a fair... well, I've read more than you, Bill, and I don't think it's as confusing as you do. But duh!
Yeah, but you got to understand, I'm still missing a full 12 issues out of that. And
I'm sure it'll make even more sense after those 12, you know what I mean?
Sure. So, yeah, they're on my Amazon wish list, and the birthday is in 2 weeks.
That's true.
Oh, yeah, kids, you'll not know this because this will come out after my birthday, but you should totally send me a fucking gift. Lord knows my family can't. Listen, American Vampire, 2nd cycle, number 4. Not a lot going on in this book.
There's a tornado of vampireness.
Where they keep attacking the house, and Pearl keeps running, and Skinner keeps driving away, and they keep yelling a lot, and they look back, and they put the kids in the bunker, and they drive away a lot, and they think they can set the other vampires on fire, but it didn't really help.
Shit goes badly.
So eventually they escape and end up going, what the fuck do we do now?
Well, they're saved by the vampire hunter and the Hank Williams impersonator, or whatever the fuck country musician.
Who apparently calls his car a guitar, which didn't make no sense to me. He's like, hurry up, get in the guitar. The Chevy?
Southern rhyming slang. You know, when the Cockneys moved to the Deep South in the early 1920s, they carried with them the humorous tradition of rhyming slang. Apples and stairs means pears. Or, sorry, apples and pears means stairs. Either way, it fucking...
Which still doesn't make sense, even at a slang level.
It's the British version of carny. It's like, yeah, what, really? My buckets means my ducats. How are you helping in any way by doing that? Just say ducat. Actually, don't say ducats. Use real goddamn words.
Yes. Well, see, ducat is a real word. It's taken from Viennese money, D-U-C-A-T. Ducat.
Well, ducat was around far longer.
Probably. It was probably Dutch or some shit.
Yeah.
Because of the D-U.
I mean, pirates search for ducats. So your Vietnamese slang there was very impressive and all.
Viennese.
We are Viennese, if you please.
I really don't please, and you need to stop that right now.
I like Disney movies.
I know you do, but I know you pull them out way too often, which is a sentence you've heard before.
Fine.
I got you for once.
Those of you who don't, those of you who don't love Disney can bite my ruby red ass.
You know what? I'm done. It's an hour. We can call it even.
We've filled enough time to make an episode.
Bing! Have fun, kids. We're done. Rev?
Quack.
No. Traditional?
Quackers.
Wrong.
Howard the Rev. Bless.
The cross. Yes,
Bless you,
fuckers!
fuckers!
There we are. And away.
Wow, my voice broke.
Yeah.
The Mean Geek is recorded live at the Reverend Mad Duck's apartment whenever the hell we can get to it. Find us on Facebook, Stitcher, Twitter under @TheMeanerGeek. Subscribe to us through RSS.
Or we can be located at our own site, www.themeangeek.com. And most importantly of all, you can find us as a proud member of the Comics Podcast Network.
Email us directly at themeanergeek@gmail.com.
Can I drink now?
You may.